Avenging Force, The Scarab, 2010. The story follows an archaeologist who comes across a mystical scarab stone, granting him superhero powers. What actually ended up on screen is closer to a poorly filmed high school play. The sound and picture quality are atrocious, the script is painfully dull, and the actors look like they're reading lines from cue cards just off camera.
Your marksmanship is top-notch. Your surveillance and hand-to-hand combat techniques put you in the top 5% of your class. What it comes down to, Rose, is that you're getting a promotion.
Field work, sir?
Fight scenes look unrehearsed and awkward, and punches that miss by a mile and kicks that barely grace the villain. Costumes are no better. The Scarab himself looks like the Michael Keaton Batman meme. The film even uses a mattress factory as its final battle location. The climactic showdown between heroes and villains takes place in the same place you buy a bed. Fans of the original Golden Age comic heroes were furious, calling it one of the worst adaptations ever made. The only halfway decent thing about this film, I think the DVD cover, which looks way better than the movie it's selling. Rise of the Black Bat, 2012. If The Dark Knight Rises was one of the biggest superhero films of the decade, then Rise of the Black Bat was the low-budget shadow trailing behind it. Is it even a shadow? Because the title itself is a scam, designed to confuse grandparents buying DVDs for their grandkids or even moms. But this isn't a Batman story. It follows a prosecutor blinded by acid, who gains special bat-like senses and becomes a masked vigilante. That's basically Daredevil with a cape. Here's the irony though, the Black Bat was an actual pulp hero from the 1930s, created around the same time as Batman. In fact, some historians argue Batman may have borrowed from Black Bat, not the other way around. Ooh, this is interesting. But by 2012, nobody remembered that. So instead of reviving a historic character with care, the filmmakers slapped together a straight-to-DVD cheapie meant to cash in on Nolan's success.
My name is Anthony Quinn, and I'm the district attorney of this city. My friends call me Tony. But there are some people in this city, mostly disreputable people, that know me by another name.
I'm Batman.
Thunderstorm, The Return of Thor, 2011. Oh boy, we have another Thor entry here, guys. Marvel's Thor brought Norse mythology to life with sweeping action and high-budget spectacle. In this movie, Thor isn't a god. He's just a regular guy who somehow gets access to a sci-fi battle suit and a hammer that looks suspiciously like an electric rod. Later in the film, he's randomly imbued with the real Thor's power and renames himself Thunderstorm. If that sounds confusing, well, because it is. And the villain of the film, Hel, spelled without an A. Instead of Hela, Hell. A clear attempt to rip off Marvel's Hela from Norse mythology while avoiding lawsuits. The movie even teases an apocalypse event similar to Ragnarok, but with none of the drama or scale. Instead, you get shaky camp fights in back alleys and forests that look like they were filmed behind someone's house. This wasn't just a bad knockoff. It was part of a larger trend. Companies like The Asylum cranked out these mockbusters to trick casual buyers into thinking they were picking up the real Thor film.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm more than a little freaked out right now.
Fear not, the gods are with you.
Yeah, I wish that helped. Yeah, why don't you just come down here and take care of this? Why me?
It is forbidden.
Italian Spider-Man, 2008. This is something different. Italian Spider-Man isn't really a knockoff, it's more of a parody. Just thought might include it in the list. This was produced not in Italy, in Australia. It's a loving spoof of cheesy 60s and 70s Italian action films with a superhero twist. This version of Spider-Man has little in common with the Marvel hero besides the name. Instead, he's a chain-smoking, mustached anti-hero who drinks, fights, and casually pulls off ridiculous feats of power. His mission: protect a magical asteroid from the evil Captain Maximum, and his powers: growing to giant size, surfing on waves, summoning penguins, and poisoning enemies with his venomous bites. The film deliberately looks cheap, with over-the-top fight scenes while editing in a deliberately nonsensical plot. While it's technically not a shameless cash grab, its roots in the tradition of foreign knockoffs like Japan's Spider-Man TV show earn it a place in this list. The Black Knight Returns, 2009. Few superhero characters are more iconic than Batman, and that's exactly why knockoff artists can't resist stealing from him. That's why The Black Knight Returns was made. The film mashes together elements from Frank Miller's legendary comic The Dark Knight Returns, Tim Burton's Batman Returns, and Nolan's Dark Knight, all while changing just enough to avoid lawsuits. Instead of Bruce Wayne, the hero is Evan Grail, whose parents are murdered by a villain named Simon Darth. He then joins a secret order of warriors, dons medieval-inspired armor, and becomes the Black Knight. In other words, it's Batman with swords and knight cosplay. The movie tries to build a gritty mythology but looks more like a fan film stretched past its limits. Cheap sets, dull action, and a script that feels like a first draft make this one of the most forgettable bootlegs on the list.
Must be. You know, you're a good soldier. I'd ask you to join our side, but probably not your style, huh?
Killing innocent people? No, not really.
Wow. 3 Dev Adam, 1973. If you thought things couldn't get stranger, welcome to Turkey. 3 Dev Adam, also known as 3 Giant Men, is one of the most infamous superhero bootlegs of all time. Here, Spider-Man is the villain. Not just mischievous, but a full-on sadistic mob boss running scams and murder across Istanbul. To stop him, Captain America teams up with Mexican wrestling legend El Santo. Yes, Marvel's poster boy side by side with the Lucha Libre hero, battling a knife-wielding Spider-Man. This film is a product of Turkish cinema's Yeşilçam era. It's famous for its bootleg versions of Hollywood blockbusters. From Turkish Star Wars to Turkish Rambo, nothing was off limits. And while 3 Dev Adam looks like it was filmed from the price of a used car, it becomes a cult classic thanks to its sheer audacity. Avengers of Justice, Farce Wars 2018. If you've ever wondered what happens when a parody goes completely wrong, this is your answer. The film attempts to spoof both Avengers and Star Wars at the same time. Our hero is Superbat, an overweight mashup of Superman and Batman who must come out of retirement to fight Dark Jokester. My goodness. He's joined by a team of knockoff heroes, including Shawn Michaels, painted green and doing yoga with elf ears. Shawn freaking Michaels.
Namaste. You must trust the farce.
Not really feeling much farce right now.
And this is in 2018. The dialogue is painful, with outdated jokes about MySpace and pop culture references that were old even in 2010. The special effects look like they were done on a laptop from the early 2000s. And even the cast, which includes Amy Smart and Simon Rex, look they'd rather be anywhere else. What makes it worse is that it came out in 2018, during the peak of Marvel cinema. Or I don't know, is it cinema? We should ask Martin Scorsese. So instead of being funny or clever, it feels like the world's longest bad YouTube sketch. And many call it one of the worst superhero parodies ever made. Antboy 2013. What if Spider-Man wasn't from New York but from Denmark and got his powers from an ant instead of a spider? That's the idea behind Antboy, a 2013 Danish superhero film. The story follows 12-year-old Pelle, who gains super strength and the ability to spray acid after being bitten by a genetically modified ant. Instead of facing Green Goblin or Doc Ock, his main villain is a leather-clad criminal called the Flea. On the surface, it's a clear Spider-Man knockoff. Same nerdy kid origin, same sudden powers, even the same awkward double life. But unlike most bootlegs, Antboy actually started as a Danish comic book series. And here's the twist. Despite its small budget and TV movie feel, the film was popular enough to get 2 sequels. It may look like Spider-Man's European cousin, but Antboy proves that even knockoffs can find their own little fan base.
Have mercy! Not today!
That's 9 minutes. Thank you for watching. Like the video and don't forget to subscribe for more flops.